Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about transit Jupiter conjunct one's natal Mercury. Now, when we have transits that involve Jupiter, they can be connected with enlargement, expanding horizons, expansive energy, exuberance, enthusiasm, even optimism. Now, when you have transit Jupiter conjoin your natal Mercury, well, this can enlarge, expand, and inject more exuberance, enthusiasm, and optimism into communications. You might feel like talking a lot more and more enthusiastically, and your thinking may be more positive and optimistic than it usually is. There's also could be about enlargement of the rational mind, so this could be an auspicious period for thinking more rationally, and also assimilating information as well. You might wind up taking a little bit more on the plate, so to speak, as far as learning things more so than usual at this time. So just be careful of not to experience any mental overload during this time, but you're going to be probably more enthusiastic about learning things at this time in your communications in general. Also could be a very fortuitous period, very good period for articulating things. You may come across more now as being more perspicacious in your speech and speaking more clearly. If you've had problems in the past and there was some, if you've had, some mumbling issues, or there might be where you weren't really speaking in a verbose manner, you might be surprising some people. You might be learning more words and better diction and being able to communicate a little bit better and impress others a little bit more with your speech than you had ordinarily. Now, keep in mind, Mercury is also connected with siblings, cousins, and neighbors. So when you have this transit, it might expand activities with them. At this time, you might be more enthusiastic about doing things with these people. You may be more involved with the outdoors with them, or expanding horizons with them. Now, if this is an Aquarius, it might be expanding horizons with these people, maybe through astrology or astronomy, aerospace, maybe innovation, even computers, electronics, maybe doing things on the internet. Now, also keep in mind that Mercury is also about short journeys. And keep in mind that Jupiter can enlarge these things. Let's say that this is in Pisces. It might enlarge a very convoluted short journeys. If you're in a neighborhood where there's a lot of winding roads and roads running in circles, it may manifest that way. But it could also be, or maybe you're you're taking a lot more short journeys, and you might be more enthusiastic about them at this time, more so than usual. And it's also, Mercury is associated with local transportation, so you might be expanding your ways of getting around at this time. If this is a time where you feel you've been stagnant as far as your method of local transportation, such as like if you were being dependent on a bus or a taxi, or maybe a neighbor giving you a ride, this could be the time where you might branch out and it could be, for example, getting your own vehicle. Remember, Jupiter is connected with prosperity, so it could manifest in getting that money, that much needed money that may have been needed to have your own vehicle if you're in a situation where you do not have one. Now, another thing is that anatomically speaking, um, Mercury is connected with the hands, the arms, the lungs, breathing, the brain, even eyesight. So in some cases, when you have transit Jupiter conjoining your natal Mercury, it could expand issues with one of these things. Or if you're having, like, say, a surgery, it might actually be fortuitous as far as the surgery going okay, and not and being performed the way it needs to be done. I mean, say if this is an Aquarius, it could be some issue that might be enlarged with an intermittent eye twitch, or maybe sporadic pain in the hands or the arms. Or Gemini could be something with carpal tunnel. That, I mean, this transit could enlarge those issues anyway, I would say, regardless of Sun, because because Mercury is connected with the hands, and Jupiter can enlarge and expand things. So anyway, well, the thing about this too is you might find yourself being more exuberant and enthusiastic in analyzing data at this time. If you're into sports, it could be, you know, sports statistical data. You might be trying to like extrapolate maybe you know, some kind of data. It could be if it's in Taurus is another example. It could be more enthusiastic about analyzing monetary data, financial data, looking at what you know, projections you may have financially for your future. And also, Jupiter's connected with veracity and the truth. So it could be a period too where the truth may come out as news to you, basically. Mercury can be connected with the news. If it's in Gemini, as an example, it could be something connected with gossiping or slander, even thievery. If you had any issues with anything being stolen, say from your home, your place of business, as an example, this could be the time where maybe the person that actually did this is unveiled and the truth comes out regarding this. Now, also too, this could also be a very auspicious period for publishing writings, as Jupiter is associated with publishing. Mercury, of course, is communication and writings. Uh, Say if this falls in Virgo in your 8th house in your natal chart, it could be through some analytical astrology or psychology. At this time, if it's in Pisces in the 5th house is another example. It could be through hypothetical sports matchups. You might do writing about teams of the past playing each other, who you think would actually win in those matchups, like pitting the 1927 New York Yankees against the 1975 Cincinnati Reds, as an example. And also, too, this could manifest in being more enthusiastic, more expansive about things with mental agility at this time. Say if this is in Virgo, it might be something with chess, because that requires, I mean, an abundance of analysis. Taurus, it could be playing like Cash Flow 101, or something like that. Something like a monetary game where you have to use your mind to some degree. Now, also too, this could be when you have this transit. Remember that Jupiter is that lucky, fortunate planet, and Mercury can be connected with the hands. I'm going to talk about something through an example of how this could manifest in some cases. Now, some of you sports fans out there may have remembered back in, it was in January of 2018. The date was, it was January 14, 2018, when the Minnesota Vikings played the New Orleans Saints. I believe it was that divisional round game. And wide receiver Stephon Diggs, he made that miracle in Minneapolis catch, they dubbed it, maybe a miraculous catch at this, and it won the game for the Vikings. I believe time had expired when he made the catch. And transit Jupiter had conjoined his natal Mercury at that time. It was in Scorpio. Now, he made that spectacular game-winning touchdown catch to win the game. I thought was interesting about that. Again, you know, Jupiter hitting one's natal Mercury can be fortuitous with things of the hands. Remember, Jupiter is also connected with sports. But the fact this was in Scorpio, that indicates to me that was coming back from the depths of defeat. Scorpio is the sign, it's the symbolizes the phoenix rising from the ashes. They had to come back and be resilient, bounce back from what seemingly looked like a defeat. You know, symbolically, that's like the phoenix rising from the ashes. I mean, you're coming back from the depths of defeat in order to emerge victorious. And I think a lot of that's how that may have manifested in Stephon Diggs, as far as his transit goes, and how it may have correlated with that game-winning catch that he made. Now, in isolated cases, again, it could enlarge Mercury, health-related issues with the hands or the arms or eyesight, what I was talking about before, the brain in some isolated cases. But keep in mind, this could also be about, it could, if you've been having any issues that were Jupiterian related, that was something, the liver, or something with the hip, the sciatic nerve, the pancreas, even something cancerous. This might be a time where those things may likely be more articulated to you, more so than usual. It could be something that may be on your mind as well. So it's something, I mean, it does, and this is more if you actually had these issues to begin with, or you had been wondering about them. This could be the time, or you might just simply be more inclined to articulate these matters better, maybe have a better, you might be able to articulate them a little bit better, more so than usual. Of course, this transit can manifest in more philosophical thinking, and maybe it could be conversations connected with religion, and if it's philosophical oriented, it might be connected with an unorthodox philosophy, say if it's in Aquarius as an example. So, I mean, those are some ways that this could manifest and pan out at this time. So, I mean, as far as this transit goes. So, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay home.